Okay, welcome back. And this time we are looking at a very interesting topic that one does not know what to say about this one, because when it came in during the course of the week and we got the news story, it was like, no, this cannot truly be happening. Human skeletons, body parts, decomposing bodies were discovered at an abandoned building in Soka, Oluyole local government area of Oyo State. This was on the 22nd. The bodies are believed to be unfortunate victims of ritual killings. Police officers also rescued about 7 people who were chained together in leg irons and looking emaciated. The thought of it just seems like a Hammer House of horror, all kind of things happening there. And you would think it is not possible for this to be happening right in the heart of a state that is so close to Lagos, that is the heart of Nigeria actually. And for it to have gone on for whatever length of time, it beggars belief. To have this conversation with us and how this came to be, what is being done to ensure this does not happen again, we've got in the House Special Advisor Public Affairs to the Governor of Oyo State, Mr. Toya Arulugun. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, thank you.
And on the other side, on my left-hand side, we've got Superintendent of Police Olabisi Okuobi Ilobanafo, who is the Police Public Relations Officer for Oyo State. Good morning and welcome. And just sitting next to her is the Special Advisor Environment and Habitat to the Governor of Oyo State, Mr. Yomi. Okay. Good morning. I am tempted to start with the Special Advisor on Public Affairs, but I'll come to the police first, because it beggars belief that this can happen in Nigeria. I know that we have limited number of policemen, so the whole country is not policed properly. And I know that there is limited finance and resources available to the police. But how can we explain a situation where human body parts are found in a place that it's so difficult to say that it does not exist? It seems as if it's gone under the radar. And how many more do we have around the country?
Well, the incident that happened is an unfortunate one, and it's so unfortunate because it occurred right inside the city, especially when we have houses at the other side of the scene of crime. So, and we felt that if this place had been like that, the police should have been informed before now, because the police, as I keep telling people, police are like fishermen. And as you know that a fisherman, there's no fisherman that can catch all the fishes in the ocean, because it is not possible for the fisherman to see everything. So it's not possible for the police to be at everywhere, almost at every time. So we need other people like members of the public to be our eyes, our ears, and that's why we talk of community policing. We need members of the public to get to us where we cannot get to. But this building in question is an abandoned one that is so hidden that to a normal human being, you may not even really know that an activity.
Well, you said that it is in the heart of the local government. It's not that hidden if it is in the heart of the local government.
The topography of the area, you know, where the building is, even if you've been there, you understand better. Where the building is situated, it used to be an abandoned, a warehouse for a company that has been abandoned for so many years. So the building is on this side, while there is a big canal, Ogunpa River, that separates the building from the rest of the community.
So it's isolated?
It is isolated, covered with bushes around. So you may not really know what is actually going on there.
From the investigation of the police so far, does it give an idea of how long this could have been going on?
Well, from our investigation, we were publicly told by the buyer of the area that the building was constructed about 10 years ago and was leased to a construction company. And at the time, I believe the contract between the owner of the building and the construction company lapsed. So the building was just left there. So it was rotting away. So to them, they felt no activity was going on. So besides, with the Gulf, the river between them, they had no business crossing over to this other side. So along the line, they didn't know, but some of them were saying it started some few years back.
Yeah, we were told that the residents said that the police assured them that the operator of that factory or whatever was working for government.
Well, as I told a correspondent that spoke with me yesterday, because when the allegation came up, I took time to call the officer mentioned there, and he said nobody had ever come to report that, except on that day. The day, that was about 2 Saturdays ago now, when the place was uncovered. And immediately the police was told, the police moved there. In fact, the first set of police officers, because in Oyo State Police Command, apart from divisional policemen, we have policemen that are ready to go, that are always ready on the move. So anytime there is any distress call, they deploy them, also tell the divisional policemen too. So these ready-to-go policemen, Skynet operations, this Skynet team and 7 city teams, immediately they were told, in fact, they could not first get the location immediately. They were forced, because when the distress call came, the control room was called, I was alerted. When they were moving there, they could not easily assess the area until I had to call back the person that came up with the distress, and he gave the description to the police, and we had to circulate the number of this person on radio. So if it is a place that is known to the police already, that is not as hidden, the police would immediately swoop on that place.
Okay, let me come to Mr. Arulugo. When you look at a situation like this, it seems absolutely incredible that this is happening. It's not like some village that is on the boundary of one state with another, and it's so far out.
Remote.
They could have been in Cameroon, and they seem to be coming in through the borders or anything of that nature. It is Oluyole local government area. How does one explain that, and what's the thought of the state government?
Well, I believe that at a time like this, it's really a grievous crime. It's heinous, and for government views it as man's inhumanity to man, and government is not taking it lightly. It's our collective responsibility, and at a time like this, the state government is mourning, is grieving, because this kind of thing shouldn't really be happening anywhere, not to talk of Oyo State. But just for clarifications, because she had said that it was, the place is, owned by government. I think we need to take it, back a little bit. Yes, every land in the state is owned by government, and that particular area, there is Ibadan local government properties, who government has given the certificate of occupancy, who has the duty to lease, such to people who are willing. And that particular one was leased to a company called Abiton, and that was in 1988. But after that, construction, which you mentioned, okay, the place had been abandoned, and I believe that maybe squatters took over the place because of the lack of work that was being done there. And from the reports that we heard, this place, like you rightly said, over 10 years ago had been abandoned, and people have been taking undue advantage of the place. However, the people that are there, okay, that was discovered, because really for us it's a discovery. Yes, truly we found human parts, we found shoes, clothes, all kinds of materials, and like everybody, we refer to it like an evil forest. And so when that happened on Monday, the governor visited the place for an on-the-spot assessment, and talked with the people, dialogue with the people in that neighborhood, which of course brought out some of the constraints which she was talking about. And the first thing government did was to revoke, whatever, through a revocation of the CFO of that place to whoever it had been leased to, because there are all kinds of stories. It was leased to this, unofficially sub-leased to that, and all of that. But the police are investigating, and I would rather leave them to come up with the truth. But secondly, government was also concerned about public health, and of course the place was fumigated. The third thing which government did, okay, was to ensure that, you know, we get the people to talk, because of course, like you rightly put it, people must volunteer information for the police to do their work. But this raises a very big problem for us as a government, because you would see that over the years, this same neglect and abandonment pervades the system. And it's really a major problem, because it's not only this area alone, it also reflects in other areas of governance. Now, the reference to government owning the property, like I said, is neither here nor there.
You're saying it is on paper, but in reality...
Yes, in reality, you know, nobody was using the place. So that's the situation that we have on hand. But for the people, I think also it raises a question about our security consciousness. And I dare say that, like you rightly put it, this thing wouldn't have been easily discovered if not for the newfound security consciousness and awareness of the government, where people had a telephone number they could call, and of course the response was swift, because this is something that never used to happen in the past. And of course, for this government, if there's anything that, you know, it takes seriously, I think is the issue of security of lives and property.
How does the governor feel, having visited that site, how does he feel that under his watch, I don't know whether this is being on for 5 years or for 10 years or just the last couple of years, but under his watch, this is going on in his state. How does he feel?
He feels very sad about it, very embarrassed about it. Embarrassed enough to take some of the steps which he has taken. For any human being, I mean, when you get to a site like that, naturally, and of course when he got there, he prayed, he had a 1-minute silence for the people, and of course, for us to get to the root of it, we needed information, and he set up, you know, a team, a committee from the community that will be dialing with government to volunteer information. So if you ask me, and I know that I saw it, I was there on the day that we visited the place, the governor himself was very, very dejected about, you know, what happened there, which is not something that should be anywhere, you know, whether it's in your state, whether it's in the east or in the north, everywhere. It's not something that is there.
No, Mr. Okay, we're told that the person who ran the place, a certain Badamosi, had some document showing that the Ministry of Environment had given him leave to go and operate a place to take care of mentally ill people. Please, can you shed more light on that? Because I really don't understand all of that.
Yes, well, thank you on that. Let me start with the background that the ministry saddled with the responsibility for evacuation and removal of destitutes and all these miscreants is the Ministry of Women Affairs and Poverty Alleviation. Okay. And the ministry has been established for a very long time, I think about 1997, and it's part of the purview of the ministry, particularly the social welfare department, to do this job. And then the ministry also has some consultants that they engage. And it's part of the responsibility of the ministry to work in connivance with these consultants to ensure that they get these people, rehabilitate them, reunite them with their family. And we've gotten recommendations from other states that we've rehabilitated these people too. And also, there was a security report, the Oyo State Security Council. There was a committee of all the security people that sat down and said they realized that loads of